Hey there, welcome back to Operation Tsargrad. We are landing forces in the Bosporus and taking over Turkey. Of course, the Turkish forces and NATO forces are not going to make this easy. They've already sent a few ships to harass my landing forces, but due to the strait being blocked, they couldn't send any of their larger ships. There is, however, a larger Leahy-class missile cruiser behind them, and that is making this a bit of a no-fly zone. I've already taken steps to engage it, but it has not yet been destroyed, and that will be the objective for right now. That, along with capturing the Turkish airport, as well as their HQ. Let's get to work. Let's take Turkey out of the fight. Remember that T-72 in the Abrams that ran out of juice? Oh, they're not actually completely out of firepower. They're doing a mating dance. I'm not sure if they're trying to I don't know, breed a... Wow. Accuracy is... not existent. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. I guess the game doesn't really know what to do with ground forces that well. And this is kind of the effect of that. I will try and engage them with another contact, with another one of my weapon systems, but at the moment I don't really have much. In the meanwhile, this T-72 is engaging the Hawk, and seemingly still missing a stationary target. Again, ground-based combat needs a bit of work. It is pretty amusing to watch what can happen, though, because we've also had some of those surface-to-air batteries, not this one, be able to engage ground targets and take out tanks, for example. So, as weird as it is, they can do it. It's about time we take out that Leahy. The Leahy doesn't seem to have a whole lot of options left. I'm not seeing any activity on their radars, nor on the radar systems of their friend. And because of that, I'm also not getting met by very long-range firepower. They have the 80-mile range on the Standard Missile 2 ER, but they're not using any of it. Plus, of course, they're getting jammed, which makes their life a lot less pleasant. And I can engage them now with the AS-13. It's still not a phenomenal missile, but in these cases, I guess I can get away with it. Normally, of course, you'd be outranged almost 4 times by this thing, but you're not quite getting that in these conditions. The plan is to throw 8 AS-13s against the Leahy and the rest of them from the other flight against the other target. You can see that I am even at altitude, I'm even radiating myself, but the ships don't really seem to care. So, that's good news. Whatever this is down here, yes, it's a merchant. And, oh, I think these are the merchants that we left there. These are the ships that we supposedly sunk. So, there are no ships in the channel. That's these. The long-range missiles came from the Leahy, not from anything else. There is no other contact. I also probably would have picked it up by now. As for my tanks, making good progress. And we have taken out all the AA installations there. The A installations on the right should no longer be a problem. But just to be sure, I have a couple of bombers which are getting mobilized. They should be up and available right now. I have 8 Fab 500s on these MiG-25s. And I intend to do harm against the airbase. Which is something I'm not sure my ground forces will be that successful at taking out. So as I'm not that eager to see exactly how well they can do, I've decided to prepare a couple of bombers. And if I don't need them, I can always send them against these fuel tanks and other targets that need eliminating. Alright, at this point we should be in range. So let's go double tap the Leahy. We're going to perform a level attack. Required altitude, oh, we're too high. Required altitude, 195. Okay, I came in a little high. So let's go down. Prepare the missiles for launch. Salvo out. That's a Garcia. Which I'm sure the more observant of you would have already seen by now. Jeez, it's probably a good thing we cannot see from the cockpit right now. One away. We are guiding these missiles, so I probably can't send more than one. They can go down vertically, but they can also climb up vertically. Look at them go. Oh, beautiful. And they're even getting up to a pretty decent speed under these conditions, 160 knots. Okay, missiles are out. Let's go and hit them again, if we can. Probably not yet. That's fine. Leahy's still not radiating. We're picking up the Garcia on our own radar, and we have the Leahy on visual. Wait, we have him on visual, but we don't have him on the search radar from the SU-24? Curious. Because we're sending a wave of SU-24s directly at these ships. They're having some difficulty detecting. Alright, well, as long as it works, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. All SU-24s are going back. MiG-25s are going out, and there's one MiG-27 which is moving in to refill. If the airbase is something to do. I did see the occasional flying unit. There were a couple of A7s that decided to see if they were welcome in the airspace. No, said the Slava, you are in fact not welcome in the airspace, and they promptly got shot down. So that's something I don't have to worry about anymore. Now, the Leahy at this point, if it had radar, should burn through. It doesn't. And it also doesn't have a gun system. The Garcia does. And it is finally burning through. So we're going to see some fire from this 5-inch. I don't really get the impression that the 5-inch are going to be that effective against these missiles. Oh, there goes the Leahy. But that's their surface search. I think their air search has been destroyed by the seed strike. Missiles are going through. We are, of course, still looking at a potential CUS defense. I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem. And chaff shouldn't be that big of a deal. Because the chaff is something that attracts missiles which are guided by radar. These are not. These are TV seekers, so we are looking through a TV camera and finding a target. Okay. That might be it for the Leahy. Second salvo of missiles is coming in. Also, the second salvo is coming in from the other Su-24s. Landing ships land at the 3rd Battalion of the 810th. Use it to capture the enemy HQ and warehouses on the eastern shore. Very good. I'll tell these people to start moving. I don't really trust the formation system, so I'm just going to manually order all of these units to move. Did I get all of them? Not yet. Yep, everybody's rolling. Excellent. Alright, strike on the Garcia underway. The Leahy is dead. Well done. That's something I don't need to worry about anymore, because that is basically a no-fly zone that they're instituting with that cruiser. And this time around, without the cruiser, I can safely fly my aircraft pretty much wherever I please. So that gives me a lot more peace of mind. We're going to spend some more missiles because they're already airborne, but whatever. Maybe I should have sent some against the Adams. But we'll deal with the Adams family later. Now, let's get these tanks into position, take the airbase. I'm not sure if we're supposed to capture it or destroy it. And the same for the HQ over there. We need to either knock them out or capture them. As our trucks drive into the area, the command truck first, this is not how to play wargame. The T-72 is following. We have captured the area, so Istanbul Airport is now mine. How about that? I can now launch EA6s, P3s, F-15s. I quite like it, if it wasn't for the fact that I don't really have much to do for them. Well, I guess I can launch P3s with a couple of anti-ships and turn their own weapons against them, as we still have an Adams frigate around. This thing still needs to get eliminated. Sorry, destroyer. This thing still needs to get eliminated, and it was responsible for the death of one of my Su-24s. On the other flank, we do have the rest of the tanks coming up. We are expecting their arrival pretty soon. And this time around, I am not leading with the command or with the command truck. Maybe there's a command tank in there somewhere. I don't know. As for the Leahy and the Garcia, they are well on their way down. You can still see some life rafts, and I guess that these ships are going to end up on the bottom, pretty close together. Here goes the Brumby. hopefully we can still pick up some survivors, because I'm not necessarily at war with the men, I'm at war with their material. We need to eliminate the ships. But after that, the sea is our common enemy, so it is only the right thing to do to send a ship here and pick up the life rafts. If I sent one of mine, however, that's probably going to take a lot of time. But, well, I guess people have spent more time in the water than that. So, let's see if I can get all the way over there. If not for anything else, then just for roleplay. Airborne. There we go. There's backdoor 1 and backdoor 1, 2. I'm going to tell these guys to get up to altitude. And that's going to be about 20,000 feet. We're going to go there. We're going to turn the surface search on. And there's the Adams right there. So this time around, I would like to launch harpoons, but we're first going to go over the sea. Otherwise, seeing as harpoons are not terrain following, well, we're going to lose those missiles very, very, very quickly. So let's not. Also, as a bit of a side note, I heard or read that the developers have changed the way that the harpoons work. This is an AGM-84A now, and there are a couple of different versions of it. Oh crap, we've got a lot of hostile units. There's a couple of different harpoon versions now, and apparently that might break harpoons in mods. So if you are looking at an older scenario that's still using the older harpoon, you might find that it doesn't work as well as you'd like. Now, let's go on the offensive here. Weapons free. Let's not have the AA just go in just yet. Yep, here come the tow missiles. Not much I can do about that. Again, I'd love a Hind gunship or something to that effect to help me defeat all these things. Ooh. Okay. Are you trying to intercept the tow missiles? I guess you are. Well, let's 2 Bradleys down. There's still one more around, and these Vulcans are looking for trouble. Which is what they'll find sooner rather than later. There's also some... Oh! Oh! Right. That's something else. That is something else. We need to get the hell out of here. And we need to scatter. The only way is through. I don't think my ships can do a whole lot of useful assistance here. Because they don't have the range for that. And the longer, let's say, coastal bombardment ships are way out of position to deal with this problem. 33 miles out. No, we're going to have to engage this with an aircraft, potentially. What the hell? Where are all the F4s going off to? Okay, I think it's time to turn more of the Americans' weapons against them. Or in this case, I guess the Turkish Air Force. And we're going to go air to air. They'll give me 2 flights of 2. Because I'm getting a little concerned about not only the number, but also the armament of these F4s. Where the hell are you planning on dropping that? Unless they're doing some sort of mass exodus, they're definitely gearing up. The problem for them is that they made a mistake. They're actually too low. So that means I can now engage the units with this ship here. They're going to go after surface target 7016 with an SSN-2. Whoa! You're going to go target the Adams. Okay. That wasn't my first idea, but you're also engaging everything else. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Slava, ceasefire. Before you throw 3 missiles onto a target that doesn't really need that many. I think I might need to bomb that airbase. We should have the MiG-25s coming in. Here's one. Here's another. Between those two, I should be able to level that airbase. I was originally planning on leveling this airbase, but I'm glad I didn't. I can still use that. The airbase is still prepping the launch of further aircraft. I assume everything here is hostile. and let loose. Unfortunately, sometimes the camera is a bit wonky and zoomed in. Especially when you have selected an airbase. There's one F4 down. These are strike heavies, I think? Look at the number. Flares. Ignored. We've hit the Vulcan. All the Bradleys are gone, and now we can push through the Vulcans. Excellent. The M270s are still functional, but that's not that big of a problem lately. Oh, we missed it. By a small margin. These SSN-12s are cruising around 2,000 feet. So that means they're not going to collide with ground. But I'm short a few missiles. Because I sent 3. And I'm seeing just 1. So there's something not quite right. Jeez, there's more. Oh, these guys just took off. Okay. I'll engage them manually. 1, 2. If you're going to be cruising around at 10,000 feet there, you are a beautiful target for my anti-air weaponry. Because they might have a no-fly zone, but so do I. You're engaging land 7056. What is that even? Is that the Abrams? Yeah, it's the Abrams. Okay, in that case, we need to get some distance. And we're going to push with these units here. All weapons tight. That's why they're not moving. Cease, cease, cease. You're free. Okay, we've hit the Vulcan. That ought to do it, because that thing has no armor. This unit is engaging a unit that's jammed. Maybe we can get some results. Maybe. How are the F-15s doing? Coil 1. Up and ready. We are packing AIM-7Ms with a range of 38 miles, which almost immediately puts these guys into range. So very shortly, I expect to be engaging these things. And putting a couple of holes in their wings. Let's get some altitude. 20,000 feet. Air search on. SAN-6 going to meet the F-4E here. There's another just taking off. They're gearing up for something big. Kill. Avoiding collision. Oh, there's a cruiser or 2 coming your way. Just keep throwing missiles out. 7105. Turn to formation. Fine. Here comes the SSN-12. Look at the birdie. I don't believe Adams has a COIS. They just got guns, which is not going to be enough. Right onto the missile launcher. The missile launcher ought to be inoperable, and the rest is going to get secondary explosions. That's probably going to be the end of the Adams. If not, I still have 8 harpoons hovering around here. So that should allow me to finish them off. Now then, let's get the F-15s into the fight. There's the rest of them. Here. Just taken off right now. Trying to retract the gear. Good work. Okay, boys. You are going to be weapons free pretty soon. I first want to see what my SAN-6s are going to pull out. Because we might... Geez, there's even more? Is this airbase shitting out the entire air wing? The hell? Yeah, sent 1. That tank flew through the aircraft. There's another one. We've hit another target. 7126 is down. We missed the other one. And this one might very well get a hit. There you go. How many more units are you going to launch? They're still prepping more on the runway. There's another one taking off right now, right under the cursor there. We need to capture these positions quickly. End this fight, because otherwise I might just be shooting down aircraft the whole time. Let's see if we can bomb the airbase. Might not really result in a whole lot of damage or a whole lot of kills, but we need to put it out of commission. How many missiles can you guide at the same time? Just the one? 2 weapon channels. So we should be able to guide more than one. There's another SAN-6. I think the cruiser can't guide that many missiles at the same time either. Kill. That looks like it's going for this one. No joy on the flares, and gotcha. So double tap this guy. Yeah, now we're engaging something else. If only the AI would bite back, this game would be so much better. But they're not, so it's just a bit of a turkey shoot here. Come on. Get to where you need to go. Turns out, if you get your aircraft to go weapons free, and they're running out of missiles, they will just go to guns. Thankfully, they just avoided a Hawk. They might not avoid another. I am pushing into this position as quickly as I can, but so far have not been able to shoot the guidance radar. So with the guidance radar still there, the fire control radar, that missile launcher is still a problem, and that missile can still hit my aircraft. You can see it's still changing course, but it's not getting deterred. So that's coiled 1, 2 down, unfortunately. And we're probably going to engage this thing any second now. At least you'd think so. 7092, yeah, go. The MiG-25s have also arrived and are planning to do some damage to the airbase. At this point, I'm not sure if that's going to be very useful, because the airbase, by now, of course, is dead. It doesn't have any aircraft, it's not launching anymore anyway, so it might not do that much use. But it's probably going to at least cause some damage to the airbase, so that if they do have some additional aircraft, those won't be a problem. The enemy resistance has been suppressed. Now we can freely capture the HQ and warehouses on the eastern shore of the Bosporus. Good. Good, and we're almost there as well. We are almost there. Where are the bombs? Are these... Ah, they're here. Mission complete. Great job, Commander. We captured NATO command headquarters in Turkey, as well as the large warehouse and oil storage facilities of the enemy. We got our hands on many secret documents, which the enemy did not even try to destroy. Hastily abandoning their positions in the army warehouses, we found a huge amount of equipment and military supplies. We will use all this to further our advance and our troops deep into Turkey. The next goal is to clear the Sea of Marmara and reach the shores of the Mediterranean as soon as possible. Very good. Let's clean up after this initial operation. I'll see you guys soon for that video. Thank you for watching this one. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for more.